Good morning, I'm Larry Eskridge, class of 2015. I'm the project coordinator for the Kerrville Schreiner Pollinator Garden, and I work with a number of volunteers. Paula Harley is the volunteer coordinator, and she takes care of arranging all of the schedules for people working out here. And this garden was initially built as part of a CCC project back during the Depression. Came to the city of Kerrville, eventually Kerrville, or to the state. Eventually the state turned it over to the City of Kerrville, and then several years ago, about 18, 19 years ago, the garden was put in place. And it's just over 10,000 square feet, and it's about 95–96% native plants. And these are all pollinators, and it takes care of the butterflies, the moths, hummingbirds, and so on and so forth. And those creatures are all critical to maintaining a good ecosystem, pollinating plants so that we get grasses, fruits, vegetables, so on and so forth. You all know all of that. You've heard that before. And over the last several years, the irrigation system has slowly been dying, and every year I'd have to search all over the United States to find spare parts. Last summer during the drought, there were no spare parts for this system in the United States. So we started doing some investigation, took it to the City Parks and Recreation, and they very graciously decided to do a renovation on the irrigation. In the past, it was 5 individual zones that were all battery operated, and sometimes those batteries just didn't work. Now it's all a wired system, and we have new rotators or new sprayers that are much more, wow.
A lot of noise, huh?
Yeah. We have new rotators that are a much more effective means of spreading water. Instead of having a very fine spray where you lose a lot of water through wind evaporation, these will put down steadier streams of water. It'll soak in, it will go deeper, and we're expecting this to do a much better case of taking care of all of our plants.
Okay. Can we have a tour of the garden?
Sure, I was just getting ready to say, do you want me to? Okay, and right now we are beginning to go through this and do some in-depth changes to the plants. A lot of stuff didn't make it through that cold spell, so we're beginning to do a survey or a census of our plants and gradually replacing them so that the garden will come back up to speed. Right now it's looking a little ragged, but it's still in much better shape than I had anticipated. Monarch larval monitoring group that comes in, they do a census on the milkweed every week, looking for eggs, looking for instars, and instars are just the various caterpillars from a very small level 1 up to about a level 5, which is about the size of my index finger. And we have 2 primary groups of butterflies that are associated with us. One is the monarchs, and this is a monarch way station. And then we also have the queen butterflies, and they look very similar to monarchs, but we also have various swallowtails and buckeyes, and just any of the general butterflies that you would expect to find in the hill country. And of course the monarchs come through here in spring when they're doing their migration back towards the northern United States and Canada, and then September, October they come back through going to their winter hibernation grounds in Mexico. They are not exactly endangered right now, but they're in a critical condition because so much of their habitat along the way has been paved over, or it's been sprayed the milkweed has been sprayed because it was considered a noxious plant, and so they just don't have the food sources that they have. Because what we're doing, we have a vast variety of plants here. One of the new plants is an eaves necklace. We had a nice eaves necklace. It was about 15, 20 feet tall, and all at once it died on us. I guess it got to the end of its life cycle, but so now we have a new one that has a lot of
This right here?
yeah, those sticks. We just put that in a week or two ago, and hopefully we'll see some green leaves and whatnot. And through here we have various sunflowers. We have cutleaf daisy. We have Texas star, redbud tree, various honeysuckle.
Well, when did you start working out here?
About the time I found out I had been accepted into the Master Naturalist program, and Jenny DeWolf was my mentor. And as soon as we met, she sort of grabbed me by the ear, brought me out here and said, "You need to work out here." And that was 5 years ago, so I have been out here ever since.
It takes a lot of work to maintain a garden like this, doesn't it?
It does. Over the years, we've had a fair group, and then some, they drop off, and we're down to a couple. And the problem is that most of the people who were here when the garden was started have reached the age where it's just too hard to get down and work, and so we're trying to get all of our new students in here introduced and doing the general maintenance. So our work usually it starts about the middle of February, and then we're out here every week. And then in the winter, right around Thanksgiving or so, we start scaling back. We leave a lot of the plants here to die and serve as shelter for the insect population. And then as the closer it gets to the 15th of February, we start ramping up again and taking care of things and trying to leave stuff and then gradually clear it out so that we will have new plants coming in, do our surveys, buy plants, put them in, take care of them. And recently, last week, the garden shed was just repainted, and Paula Harley did that on her own. And the city has been great this year. The garden shed, which was in rather poor shape, they refurbished it, they put new siding up, they put new trim up, they gave us the paint, then the thing with the irrigation, and also there are some lattice work panels on the fence out there that had pretty much fallen apart, and so they have replaced those, and it's just been really a cooperative affair between Parks and Rec and the volunteers. And with this garden being as large as it is, we can have 5, 6, 7, maybe more volunteers out here at one time. 10,000 square feet. There's plenty of room for personal separation, and so we've always been very careful hitting the CDC guidelines for COVID, and that's about it. We can walk on around. The garden is divided into about 5 zones, and that way. And in the past, I had all of the risers, the irrigation risers, color-coded and numbered so that if one of them quit working, somebody could just give me a number and a zone and we could replace it. So I don't know what we're going to do now with this new system, but hopefully it will not have as many failures as what the old one had. Okay.
Coming out here to a garden like this and working is a good way to learn about plants and pollinators. And
it is a very good way. That's one of the things that I always try to sell at the volunteer fair for the students, and that is, you learn native plants, you learn the various insect population, you learn how to take care of native plants, and so on and so forth.
What it took to put it in, and
Well, so Larry kind of reached out. My name's Shane Heffernan with the City of Kerrville Parks and Recreation Department. I manage the sports complex and the golf course. And Larry had kind of reached out with us about some concerns he had with the existing irrigation system that was here. And so we went in and kind of retrofitted it a little bit, kind of brought it up to a little bit better standard, fully automated it with a central controller to make it, a little bit more user-friendly, a little bit more dependable. And now we've gone through and changed out a lot of the heads to just make it perform overall better than where it was at before.
well, we want to thank you for doing that. It's going to be a great help.
You bet.
All right,
Absolutely.
great. Thanks.
Of course, this looks like a banner year for the garden with a new irrigation system that will keep the plants up and growing like they should be. But we need a lot of additional volunteers. Normally we have anywhere between 4 or 5, maybe 6 at the most. I have been told that a garden this size should have 12 volunteers on a regular basis. This is not a sign of your life away in blood that you'll be out here until you die or anything like that. You come out, you work when you can, you work as long as you can. We do not work during inclement weather. That means anything really cold or anything really hot, or rain and lightning and that sort of thing. We just come out, we work together, we have a good crew. There's a lot of camaraderie going on, and it is critical that we get more people out here. This can be a show place, not only for the City of Kerrville, but also for the Master Naturalist program. And that's what I've been looking at and working towards for the last 5 years, is trying to bring this up to a showpiece that will entice local residents as well as park visitors to come in, walk through the garden, learn something about pollinators, learn something about hill country native plants. So come on out.
Okay, thanks, Larry.
And Thursday mornings when we're usually here at 8:30, 9:30, and then we work until you're tired or you have something to do.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming out.
Sure.